Good morning to my fellow bank members, bank secretariat, and technical personnel from the maintenance section, and also our YouTube live viewers. Today, February 26, 2025, we have a credit conference for two goods and services, particularly for contract ID number 24 GBJ21 and 24 GBJ22. But before we start, may I request everyone to please stand for the opening prayer. Thank you.
Loving Heavenly Father, we come to you this hour asking for your blessing and help as we are gathered together. We pray for guidance in the matters at hand and ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with a spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us the desire to find ways to excel in our work. Help us to work together and encourage each other to excellence. We ask that we would challenge each other to reach higher and farther to be the best we can be. We ask this in the name of the Lord. Amen.
Please be seated. May I request the secretariat to please show in our video screen the selection of our observers for Procurement activities for two goods and services. Thank you.
Our first official observer from the DPWH accredited CEOs Mr. Chair is the Philippine Partnership for the Development of Human Resources in Rural Areas, or the PDP. And our observer for goods DPWH accredited officer is Consul Inulina Limango of Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or the PCCI description. That is all. And from the host, our official observers.
Did we send invitation for the observers for today's credit conference?
Yes, Mr. Chair. From the screen, as you can see, we have a letter for Sir Adelio Joel P. Oraca, State Auditor for Audit Leader of Commission and Audit. A letter dated February 19, 2025, was duly received by the COA on February 19, 2025. And our second observer is Caridad Corridor, National Coordinator of Philippine Partnership for the Development of Human Resources in Rural Areas, or the PITRA, from Quezon City. A letter dated February 19, 2025. Invitation to sit as observer was sent Wednesday, February 19, 2025 at 4:16 in the afternoon. And our last observer is Consul Inulina B. Mangyo, the President of Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or PCCI, from Port Bonifacio, David City. A letter dated February 19, 2025. Invitation to sit as observer was sent Wednesday, February 19, 2025 at 4:10 in the afternoon. And that is all, Mr. Chair, for invitation to our official observers.
Thank you, Engineer Joseph Vigala, the head of the Procurement staff. It seems that our invited observers are not present this morning, but I do believe and I hope they are watching our live stream in the YouTube. Again, I request the Secretariat for the attendance for the determination if we have a problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will now proceed with the roll call of attendance. The back members. Engineer Danilo A. Bernabé,
Present.
back chairperson. The back regular members. Ma'am Grace B. Sanchez, Engineer Christopher M. Balasya, and Engineer Harley Rex L. Lopez. The back provisional members, Engineer Herbert M. Agudelo, Engineer Leandre A. Liman, and Engineer Noel P. Amador Jr. The back secretariat, yours truly. The back secretariat members, Engineer Ziti De Masi Valdez, Sir Belmar G. Quirino, Ma'am Gretchen R. Infanta, Sir Paul R. Domagas, Ma'am Vivian Zenaida I. Bulan, and Sir Mario Roy M. Tamo. And we have representatives from the implementing unit or from the maintenance section, Engineer Shirley Joy A. Liman, and Engineer Andre S. De La Cruz. Therefore, Mr. Chair, majority of the attendants of our bids and awards committee today are present. Therefore, Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Once again, thank you very much, Engineer Joseph Ligala, the head of the procurement staff. Since we have a quorum, the back chair now declares that the procurement activity for today's private conference is now officially in order. Allow me to read the agenda for today's private conference. Number 1, basic contract data. This will be discussed to us by a technical representative from the implementing unit, which is the maintenance section. Number 2, questions, comments from leaders and replies of back and other representative of the procuring entity. Number 3, requirements of bidding documents. This will be discussed to us by Engineer Joseph Ligala, the head of the procurement staff. Number 4, documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposal. This will be this will be presented through audio recorded and will be shown on our video screen. And number 5, proposed amendments, if any. Number 6, criteria and procedure for the preliminary examination of the bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award. Again, this will be shown to us through audio recorded in our video screen. Number 7, agenda. Other matters and our announcement, if there are any. Number 8, which is the last agenda, is the summary of proceedings, including bid bulletin or addenda to be issued if there is any. But before we proceed to the number 1 agenda, which is the basic contract data, may I request the Secretariat to please create in audio recorded, particularly for section 22 of the revised implementing rules and regulations of RA 9184 and the latest GPPD issuances.
Section 22, rebid conference. Section 22.1, for contracts to be bid with an agency of 1 million pesos or more, the bank shall convene at least one rebid conference to clarify or explain the requirements, terms, conditions, and specifications stipulated in the bidding documents. For contracts to be bid with an agency of less than 1 million pesos, rebid conferences will be conducted at the discretion of the bank. Subject to the approval of the bank, a rebid conference may also be conducted upon written request of any prospective bidder. Section 22.2, the rebid conference shall be held at least 12 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids, but not earlier than 7 calendar days from the PhilJet's posting. Section 22.3, the rebid conference shall discuss, clarify, and explain, among other things, eligibility requirements and the technical and financial components of the contract to be bid, including questions and clarifications raised by the prospective bidders before and during the pre-bid conference. Section 22.4, the minutes of the pre-bid conference shall be recorded and prepared not later than 5 calendar days after the pre-bid conference, and shall be made available to prospective bidders not later than 5 days upon written request. Decisions of the bank amending any provision of the bidding documents shall be issued in writing through a supplemental or bid bulletin at least 7 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. Section 22.5 Supplemental / Bid Bulletin, Section 22.5.1 requesting for clarifications on any part of the bidding documents or for an interpretation must be in writing and submitted to the back of the procuring entity concerned at least 10 calendar days before the deadline set for the submission and receipt of bids. Section 22.5.2 for purposes of clarifying or modifying any provision of the bidding documents, supplemental or bid bulletins may be issued upon the procuring entity's initiative at least 7 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. Any modification to the bidding documents shall be identified as an amendment. Section 22.5.3 and the supplemental / bid bulletin issued by the bank shall also be posted in the Philgex, the website of the procuring entity concerned, if available, and at any conspicuous place within the premises of the procuring entity. It shall be the responsibility of all those who have properly secured the bidding documents to inquire and secure supplemental or bid bulletins that may be issued by the bank. However, bidders who have submitted bids before the issuance of the supplemental or bid bulletin must be informed and allowed to modify or withdraw their bids in accordance with Section 26 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA 9184.
Okay. Thank you, Secretariat, for showing the video also recorded, particularly for section 22 of the RA 9184. Okay, we now go to the agenda proper. Number 1 is the basic contract data. This will, so for this credit conference, we have 2 goods and services to be discussed, particularly for contract ID number 24 JPJ 21. And this will be discussed to us by Engineer Andre de la Cruz from the maintenance section. Andre, please take it away.
For the basic contract data under goods and services for contract ID 24J21, aim of contract, supply and delivery of solar red roadway lighting and solar pavement studs for use in the maintenance of roads and bridges of Nueva Vizcaya Second DEO jurisdiction. Location of the contract, Nueva Vizcaya Second DEO jurisdiction. Approved budget for the contract, ABC, 9,987,122 and 01 cents. Scope of works, supply and delivery of solar roadway lighting and solar pavement studs for use in the maintenance of roads and bridges. Contract duration, 7 calendar days. Cost of bidding document, 10,000. Source of fund, GAA FY 2024. Date of bidding, March 11, 2025. For the item description, solar lights, 48 pieces, 300 watts, smart LED solar street lights, IP65 lumens, power solar panel, 49 watts, rechargeable lithium-ion battery, 3 types aluminum alloy, 1.327 by 381 by 95 millimeters. Ground steel tapered post. Bottom diameter 200 millimeter. Top diameter 100 millimeter. Height 8,000 millimeter. Thickness 4 millimeter. Base plate 20 millimeter by 400 millimeter by 400 millimeter. Stiffener plate 60 millimeter by 200 millimeter by 100 millimeter by 20 millimeter. Hot deep galvanized. Anchor bolts 90 mm by 580 mm OAL and 50 mm. 3 nuts and double flat washers. Corrugated RSP 60 mm grade 40 100 mm pieces. Corrugated RSP 10 mm grade 40 301 pieces. 1/2 inch marine plywood 50 pieces. Portland cement 340 bags. Fine aggregates 80 cubic meters. Gravel 36 cubic meters. Solar pavement level marker studs 199 each. 143 millimeter diameter by 47 millimeter depth.
That's all, Andre.
That's all.
Okay, may you define o kaya what is the meaning of OAL 10, 500 milligram, ay 500 millimeter, 19 mm by 508 millimeter, OAL 10, 50 millimeter. Is that the diameter ball?
Overall length of pen.
Overall length. Is that the upper ball?
Yes.
Naka-bend, sabi, upper ball, naka-bend yan. OAL is overall.
Overall length of pen.
Hindi, ang bend is parang 50 millimeter. Therefore, for the information on our prospective leaders lang, baka magtaka sila, ano kaya yung OAL? So that is overall length.
Oh.
So dapat din, nakalagay siyang isang anchor bolt. I believe the anchor bolt is aluminum coated. Di ba? Ang aluminum coated yung nakikita kong deliveries. Correct.
Yes, sir.
That is aluminum coated. Ano? Okay, thank you. May I ask the Secretariat if we have comments, questions from our prospective leaders?
None, Mr. Chair.
There is none. So we proceed to contract ID number 24 GPJ 22. Again, this will be discussed to us by Engineer Andre Cruz. Andre?
For contract ID 24 GPJ 22, name of contract. Supply, delivery, and installation of Bituminous materials for use in the repair maintenance of national roads along Aritao Quirino Road, A0245, +910, to A0, kilometer 246, +367, Malasin, Dupax, Norte, Nueva Vizcaya. Location of the contract. Malasin, Dupax, Norte.
Excuse me. Hindi ko kasi narinig kanina yung specification ng solar stud. Na-discuss ba?
Opo, sir.
Meron ba? Okay, I'm sorry. Sige, proceed. Please proceed.
For the location of contract, Malasin, Dupax, Norte, Nueva Vizcaya. Approved budget for the contract, 4,828,131 pesos. Scope of works. Supply. Scope of works. Supply, delivery, and installation of Bituminous materials for use in the repair maintenance of national road. Contract duration, 7 calendar days. Cost of bidding document, 5,000 pesos. Source of fund, GAA F1 2024. Date of bidding, March 11, 2025. Item is installed. Emulsified asphalt SS1, 2.90 metric tons. Bituminous concrete surface course, 367.49 metric tons. That's all.
Thank you, Engineer Andre Cruz. additional information to our prospective bidders. For crucified asphalt SS1, prior to delivery, the supplier must submit a quality test for SS1, and for bituminous concrete surface course, the supplier for asphalt should submit a checklist formula in order to determine the asphalt content. Okay. Again, Secretariat, do we have any questions, comment from the bidders for contract ID number 24GBJ22?
None, Mr. Chair.
There is none. Okay, thank you. So the third agenda is the requirements of bidding documents. And this will be discussed to us by Engineer Joseph Ligala, the head of the procurement staff. Joseph?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the requirements of the bidding documents in the form of bid data sheet for ITP clause 5.3 for contract 24GBG21. The bidder must have completed a single contract that is similar to this project, equivalent to at least 50% of the ABC. For this purpose, contract similar to the project shall be A. The similar contract refers to supply and delivery of solar LED roadway lighting and solar pavement studs for use in the maintenance of roads and bridges. B. Completed within 5 years prior to the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. And for contract 24GPG22, the bidder must have completed a single contract that is similar to this project, equivalent to at least 25% of the ABC. For this purpose, contract similar to the project shall be A. The similar contract refers to supply, delivery, and installation of bituminous materials for use in the repair or maintenance of national roads. Or B. Completed within 5 years prior to the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. ITP clause 7.1 subcontracting standard. ITP clause 12, the price of the goods shall be quoted DDP within province of Nueva Vizcaya for this project. The bidder shall bid on all items to be bid. Price quoted shall include taxes. ITP clause 14.1, the bid security shall be in the form of a bid security declaration or any of the following forms and amounts. A. The amount of not less than 2% of ABC if bid security is in cash, cashiers manager's check, bank draft or guarantee, or a revocable letter of credit. Or B. The amount of not less than 5% of ABC if bid security is in surety bond. For ITP clause 19.B, for contract 24GPJ21, the ABC is 9,987,123.01 pesos. Any bid with the financial component exceeding the ABC shall not be accepted. For contract 24GPJ22, the ABC is 4,828,131 pesos. Any bid with a financial component exceeding the ABC shall not be accepted. And for ITP clause 20.1, no other licenses and permits are required. ITP clause 21.1, no additional contract documents are required. And that is all, Mr. Chair, for the requirements of the bidding documents.
Thank you, Engineer Joseph Ligala, for discussing agenda number 3, which is the requirements of the bidding documents. We go now to agenda number 4, which is documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposal. This will be presented to us through an audio recorded to be made by the Secretariat. Please, Secretariat.
Requirements for technical and financial documents, procurement for goods and services. 1. Technical component envelope. Class A documents. Legal documents. A. Valid field JEPS registration certificate, platinum membership, all pages, in accordance with section 8.5.2 of the IR. Technical documents. B. Statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. And C. Statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract or SLCC similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided for in sections 23.4.1.3 and 23.4.2.4 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA number 9184 within the relevant period as provided in the bidding documents, and the original copy of bid security. If in the form of a surety bond, submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission, or original copy of notarized bid security declaration, and E. Conformity with the technical specifications, which may include production/delivery schedule, manpower requirements, and/or after-sales/parts, if applicable, and F. Original duly signed omnibus sworn statement or OSS, and if applicable, original notarized secretary certificate in case of a corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or original special power of attorney (SPA) of all members of the joint venture giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the OSS and Dupax to represent the bidder. Financial documents. G. The prospective bidder's computation of net financial contracting capacity or NFCC, or a committed line of credit from a universal or commercial bank in lieu of its NFCC computation. Class B documents. H. If applicable, a duly signed joint venture agreement or JVA in case the joint venture is already in existence, or duly notarized statements from all the potential joint venture partners stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the JVA in the instance that the bid is successful. 2. Financial component envelope. I. Original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form, and J. Original of duly signed and accomplished price schedules. Other documentary requirements under RA number 9184 as applicable. K. Certification from the DTI if the bidder claims preference as a domestic bidder or domestic entity.
And that is all, Mr. Chair, for the documents to be submitted by you.
Okay, once again, thank you, Secretariat. So we go to agenda number 5, which is the proposed amendments, if there is any. Since there are no questions or comments from our prospective bidders, therefore, there will be no proposed amendment to the bid documents as published and published in the pictures and from the DPWH website. So we go now to agenda number 6, which is criteria and procedure for the preliminary examination of the bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification, and award. Again, this will be presented through a video recorded by the Secretariat. Secretariat, please play the audio recorded for agenda number 6. Thank you.
Detailed bid evaluation. For the procurement of goods, the purpose of bid evaluation is to determine the lowest calculated bid using the following steps. 1. The bank shall immediately conduct a detailed evaluation of all bids using non-discretionary criteria in considering the following. A. Completeness of the bid. Unless the instructions to bidders specifically allow partial bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, bill of quantities, shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. In this regard, where a required item is provided but no price is indicated, the same shall be considered as non-responsive, but specifying a 0 or dash for the said item would mean that it is being offered for free to the government, and B. Arithmetical corrections. correct computational errors and omissions to enable proper comparison of all eligible bids. It may also consider bid modifications if expressly allowed in the bidding documents. Any adjustment shall be calculated in monetary terms to determine the calculated prices. 2. The bank shall evaluate all bids on an equal footing to ensure fair and competitive bid comparison. For this purpose, all bidders shall be required to include the cost of all taxes, such as, but not limited to, value-added tax or VAT, income tax, local taxes, and other fiscal levies and duties which shall be itemized in the bid form and reflected in the detailed estimates. Such bids, including said taxes, shall be the basis for bid evaluation and comparison. 3. In case of discrepancies between A. Bid prices in figures and in words, the latter shall prevail. B. Total price of the item and unit price of the item as extended or multiplied by the quantity of that item, the latter shall prevail. C. Stated total price and the actual sum of prices of component items, the latter shall prevail. D. Unit cost in the detailed estimate and unit cost in the bill of quantities, the latter shall prevail. 4. Bids shall then be ranked in the ascending order of their total calculated bid prices, as evaluated and corrected for computational errors and other bid modifications, to identify the lowest calculated bid. Total calculated bid prices, as evaluated and corrected for computational errors and other bid modifications, which exceed the ABC shall be disqualified.
Post-qualification. Objective and process of post-qualification. 1. The lowest calculated bid shall undergo post-qualification to determine whether the bidder concerned complies with and is responsive to all the requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents. 2. Within 5 calendar days from receipt by the bidder of the notice from the Bids and Awards Committee that the bidder has the lowest calculated bid, the bidder shall submit to the Bids and Awards Committee its latest income and business tax returns, and other appropriate licenses and permits required by law and stated in the bidding documents. Failure to submit any of the post-qualification requirements on time, or a finding against the veracity thereof, shall disqualify the bidder for award, provided that in the event that a finding against the veracity of any of the documents submitted is made, it shall cost a forfeiture of the bid security in accordance with Section 69 of the 2016 Revised Implementing Rules and Regulations, IRR, of Republic Act Number 9184. 3. The post-qualification shall verify, validate, and ascertain the veracity, authenticity, and validity of all the Class A eligibility documents supporting the PhilJEF Certificate of Registration and Membership in accordance with Section 8.5.2 of the 2016 Revised IRR of RA number 9184, and all the other statements made and documents submitted by the bidder with the lowest calculated bid using non-discretionary criteria, as stated in the bidding documents. These criteria shall consider, but shall not be limited to, the following. A. Legal requirements. To verify, validate, and ascertain licenses, certificates, permits, and agreements submitted by the bidder, and the fact that it is not included in any blacklist as provided in Section 25.3 of the 2016 Revised IRR of RA number 9184. For this purpose, the GPPB shall maintain a consolidated file of all blacklisted suppliers, contractors, and consultants. B. Technical requirements. To determine compliance of the goods offered with the requirements specified in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, I. Verification and/or inspection and testing of the goods/product, after sales and/or maintenance capabilities in applicable cases, as well as checking the following. A. Delaying the partial delivery of goods amounting to 10% of the contract price in its ongoing government and private contracts. B. If any of these contracts shows the bidder's failure to deliver or perform any or all the goods or services within the period specified in the contract or within any extension thereof granted by the procuring entity pursuant to a request made by the supplier prior to the delay, and such failure amounts to at least 10% of the contract price. C. Unsatisfactory performance of the supplier's obligations as per contract terms and conditions at the time of inspection. If the bank verifies any of these deficiencies to be due to the bidder's fault or negligence, the bank shall disqualify the bidder from the award for the procurement of goods. 2. Ascertainment of the authenticity of the bid security and its correctness as to type, amount, form, and wording and validity period as required in the bidding documents. C. Financial requirements. To verify, validate, and ascertain the bid price proposal of the bidder and, whenever applicable, the required committed line of credit in the amount specified and over the period stipulated in the bidding documents or the bidder's NFCC to ensure that the bidder can sustain the operating cash flow of the transaction. The determination of the lowest calculated and responsive bid or LCRB is guided by sections 34.4 to 34.8 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA number 9184. The Bids and Awards Committee will recommend to the award of contract to the bidder with the LCRB in accordance with section 37 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA number 9184, which outlines the procedures for the notice and execution of award.
And that is all listed there for the criteria procedures of preliminary examination and giving award.
Okay, thank you. Once again, thank you, Secretariat. We go now to agenda number 7, which is other matters and our announcement. Secretariat, do we have any announcement?
Yes, Mr. Chair. We have a procurement AG private conference on March 5, 2025 at 9 a.m. The scheduled opening of bids on March 18, 2025 at 9 a.m. Here is a conference room. For one goods and services contract, the contract ID 24 DPWH the supply, delivery, and installation of indigenous materials for use in the repair or maintenance of national road along Aritao to Quirino Road, K0244 plus 4592, K0244 plus 949, Pavement, Dupax del Sur, Nueva Vizcaya. The location of project, Pavement, Dupax del Sur, Nueva Vizcaya, ABC 4,830,147 pesos. Scope of work, supply, delivery, and installation of indigenous materials for use in the repair or maintenance of national road. Upon calculation, 7 calendar days. The cost of taking documents is 5,000 pesos, and the source of fund is GAFY 2024. And our next procurement activity, opening of bids on March 11, 2025, at 9 a.m. in the conference room for 2 goods and services, which we will discuss today during our wedding conference. With contract ID numbers 24 DPG 21 and 24 DPG 22. And that is all for announcement for reminders.
Thank you, Engineer Joseph Regalan, the head of the procurement staff. We go now to the last agenda, which is number 8, summary of proceeding, including bid bulletin and our agenda to be issued. We have already discussed agenda number 1 to 7, but we do not have agenda for bid bulletin to be issued since there is no question or comments or any amendments to our bid document as posted in the pictures and DPWH website. So that is the last agenda for today's wedding conference. Is there any announcement from other members of the BAC? Since there is none, do I hear a motion for adjournment?
Mr. Chair, we go to the event of this procurement activity.
Any second the motion? It has been moved and seconded that the private conference for today is now officially adjourned. Thank you everyone and thank you to our YouTube live viewers. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Thank you. Chair, please, sandali lang.